This final video in the Basics of Stonky series is looking at dashboard and risk board. These are really graphical representations of what's happening with your investments. So they cover the investment period that is covered in the exported files of Investice and Transakce from Stonky. Here's when it was generated, which version of Stonky was used, and please report any bugs to here. So, as with Stonky is based on the idea that loans never die, hope lives forever. So active loans are those which have not yet been settled or sold. So as well as including healthy loans paying back nicely on time, that includes overdue loans, those which have some delays in repayment, and defaulted loans. These are loans where you would expect to have given up hope, but no, Stonky still pursues these people, ultimately by court, to get some money back, if possible. Okay, and this is going to be reflected in the risk board, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so the loan capital balance, how much money do I currently have tied up in Stonky? That is for healthy, overdue, and defaulted loans, money that has not been paid back yet from loans. And current capital commitment adds to that cash in my wallet and blocked capital. So this is in some sense dead money, money that I have in Stonky that isn't yet earning a return. Yeah. This rate of return figure, how much have I earned to date, this amount of money, as a percentage of my total investment over time. And you may notice that the figure in here, when you run Stonky against your spreadsheets, is different from the figure, probably, that Stonky gives you. And that's because this one includes this dead money. Not just money that's been invested, but money that's waiting to be invested, either repayments that you haven't yet reinvested, or money that you've recently deposited, or even blocked capital that can be held up over the weekend for some loans. Yet it's still money you have in the system. So this is a rate of return that takes your whole commitment into account. And the way to think of this, using the XIRR algorithm, which is quite an industry standard, is if when I put deposits in from my bank into Stonky, if I had put those at the same time into a bank account, what rate of return would that bank account need to give me, what interest rate, in order to give the same return I'm getting from Stonky? Yeah, and then, as well as that, we can see here a summary of the wallet, and then we have various charts and figures showing things broken down by risk rating, statuses, and by month, cumulative totals, and so on. Yeah. Now, I mentioned that this doesn't really take risk into account, which is what the risk board is for. Those overdue loans that we talked about, and particularly those defaulted loans, could lead to losses. And the optimistic return, this is the amount and this is the percentage we saw on the dashboard, rather like the Stonky figures, assumes that those will all pay back in full one day, and that's not realistic. Stonky knows this. Stonky says that recovery rate from defaulted loans tends to be around 30% on average, which means we anticipate a loss of 70%, or a potential loss, if it goes really bad, totally pessimistically, of 100%. Yes, so optimistic here is if all the dangerous loans do fully pay back in time at some point. This is, well, let's assume that they pay back at a rate of 30%, and this says let's assume they don't pay back at all. And we can change these assumptions here, including this one. As well as considering defaulted loans, I consider in Stonky loans that are overdue for more than 30 days, because those are in danger of becoming defaulted. Those are at-risk loans too. And we can change those in settings, edit settings in the Stonky menu. And then here we simply see lots of statistics breaking all of these risky things down, showing the various statuses and what's the potential loss if nothing is paid back, and what's the expected loss if the assumed recovery rate occurs. So that's it. We're finished. That's everything about Stonky. Thank you very much.